You're listening to the Brain of Man podcast. Honest conversations from two guys talking about things that matter. We're your hosts, Mark and Dale. Welcome to the inaugural Brain of Man podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and I'd like to introduce you to my co-host, Dale.
Hey, mate.
G'day, Dale. So we're going to have a few conversations, I guess, about things that matter, because we're just two guys chatting about stuff that matters. And this idea for the podcast came about because you and I have, I guess, formed this relationship where we're chatting and always expressing what's going on in our lives, and it's been a really good forum for both of us, I think, to
Very
express
much so.
What's been happening. And we thought, man, we should record some of our conversations because it's interesting, it's expressive, and I think we touched on a lot of issues that might be completely relatable to a lot of guys out there.
Totally agree with that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so Brain of Man, there's kind of going to be no topics too personal. We might get a bit emotional. We might get a bit risky in where we go with our chats. But I guess one of the big aims of our podcast is to get people talking and thinking about what it means to be a man today in 2019. And, the stigma related around masculinity, what's expected of men in terms of their expression of emotions, and what's expected of men by society in terms of how we relate to each other, how we relate to women, and how we should be carrying ourselves throughout our lives as we grow from boys to men. I don't know about you, but
that's really well put, Mark.
Yeah.
I don't really have much else to add to that. That covered everything.
Cool. Yeah, so I've known you now for close to 10 years.
Long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and you've been there as a good mate for me through a lot of times, and I would like to think I've been there for you.
100%.
Probably you more so for me than I've been there for you, because I was quite a while I was pretty busy and tied up doing my own sort of thing, and we kind of lost touch a little bit, but we've reconnected recently, and had some D&Ms.
D&Ms, real good, deep, meaningful conversations, true to heart conversations, no boundaries.
Yeah. And one of those conversations, I guess, it's a good segue to lead into the first topic of this podcast, and it's around how we talk to women and how we not treat women, but how we interact with them, and how we make them feel when we're talking to them. And it's not always apparent to us how we might make somebody feel, and we're not always mindful of that. But I just want to talk about that a little bit. Yeah, it was a conversation you and I were having, and I was dating somebody at the time, and you and I were living together, and she was coming over pretty regularly, probably at least every weekend, maybe a night or a couple of days during the week as well. You and I are best friends, I guess. Can I call you my best friend?
Of course you call me his friend, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why do you say that hesitantly?
There was no hesitation in that.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I was about to sip some tea.
Oh, okay, yeah. We're having a cup of tea here while we have our conversation. I got the jasmine. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking... No, you got the green tea.
I got the green.
Jasmine.
You got the jasmine.
I got the jasmine.
Yeah, cool. How is it?
Good.
It's good?
Good.
Yeah. I'm dead tired. I needed some bloody tea today, so...
Yeah, I've had a long trip. Just got back from Melbourne.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Cool. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Good to sleep in my own bed.
Yeah. Thanks for making the time to have a chat with me. I always love chatting to you, brother.
Always.
Back back to our conversation, I pulled you up on something, and do you remember what I don't even know if I pulled you up on something or how it came about. I think maybe you were asking for advice on Tinder. Was that right?
I think it might have been, yeah.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering how you were talking or introducing yourself and that sort of thing. What are your memories around the conversation that we had that time?
Yeah, it's almost like a distant memory now, but I had a tendency to comment on a person's physical traits quite often. More of a compliment on how they would look, which sometimes I guess can be construed in a different way to what was meant.
Okay, so yeah, from experience, my experience of witnessing it with you, with my girlfriend had at the time, every time she'd come around and say, "Oh, you look beautiful.
Yeah.
Great to see you."
Yeah.
Hug, kiss on the cheek, and that sort of thing. And for you, it was completely normal.
Yeah, it was just almost like a "How you going?" kind of comment.
Yeah, and it wasn't until I don't know if I think I filled you in the other day.
You did.
I didn't want to sort of like spring this on you during the podcast, but she pulled me aside one day and she's like, "Do you think it's a bit strange that Dale says how pretty and stuff I am every time I come over?" And honestly, yeah, I noticed it, but I know you and I know where it's coming from you.
Yeah.
But it obviously made her feel uncomfortable.
Which is something I didn't realise at the time. I had no idea. But it wouldn't be unique to her. If it had been any other girl coming over, I would have probably exactly said the same thing.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a her thing. It was just the way I used to compliment. And sometimes still do, but I'm very conscious of it now.
Yeah. And I mean, I won't call myself a feminist because I don't, or maybe I'm a feminist. I don't know. If I had to think about it, and I don't want to say I'm not, maybe I am, but I can empathise with women and how they are objectified.
Yeah.
Having to walk daily down the street, perhaps being whistled at, even gawked at, walking, through the mall to their place of work every day for, their entire life, even maybe. And it's something that you and I we can try and understand, but we'll never understand.
Never understand it, yeah.
I guess firstly, I just want to ask, were you aware of what you were doing? Because it was
I just feel like it was a nice gesture, yeah. Yeah, like shaking someone's hand when they come in the door. Like it was just a knee-jerk habit for me. Like I didn't put a huge amount of thought into what I was doing. I just assumed it would be received as a nice thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, and I've spoken to a couple of women on the topic very recently, and one woman has said in particular that she thinks that lots of women would like that, and probably the majority, maybe the majority would, or I don't know, 50-50 might,
Yeah.
But I guess I think it's probably better to err on the side of reservedness.
Caution.
Because you never know how that person's going to feel, and it might give you some sort of stigma. No one has a stigma attached. But where do you think your habits came from around feeling the need to greet women with compliments on their looks?
I think we did talk about this when you first brought it up with me. And I think it was, when I had time to think about it, I think it was maybe something I felt like that was lacking in my life.
Okay, yeah.
I was kind of feeling a void in how I was feeling by trying to put out an energy that I wanted reciprocated, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I wanted I feel like I wanted to be complimented as well. So if I put that out there, maybe that energy would come back as well. Because I did spend a while trying to understand why I do that. And there wasn't any real huge reasons that stuck out. And it's something that I, just thinking now, I don't really do a huge amount anymore. I'm quite reserved in the number of times I do compliment on physical appearances now.
Yeah.
Like it would have to genuinely be like a bit of a wow, you look great today kind of thing.
Yeah.
Rather than just a fleeting compliment.
It's like an
actual
thing.
Genuine compliment when I say it now.
Now
yeah.
you're meaning it.
Now I'm meaning it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas previously it was just like a, hey man, good to see you. How's life? How's things?
Yeah.
More of a greeting than a genuine compliment.
Yeah. So you've sort of almost rewired that habit for yourself.
Definitely have.
I mean.
Yeah, I didn't even realize I had done that until thinking about it now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, was it kind of like was it like a light bulb moment? Did you think, fuck, maybe?
Yeah, it's confronting at first.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where you appreciate the fact that you've brought it up. Yeah, it's a tough one. Like it wouldn't be easy for you to bring it up either.
Yeah. I mean, I brought it up from a place of love for you, man, because I know that you're a really genuine guy and your compliments are genuine, but those compliments that you're giving sort of on the first, I mean, it's almost like a small talk compliment. It almost doesn't mean anything, but it's like, how's the weather today? Oh, you look good today. It doesn't I'm sure your compliments now mean a lot more when they come from you, but also you're not making people think, not that you are thinking about the way that they look the first time that you see them. That way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it almost devalues them, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah, I guess so. Or
objectifies them. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how have your interactions with women in your life changed? I mean, you've got a lot of co-workers. I mean, you've got some really good female friends as well.
Big time, yeah. So I have really good friendships with quite a few females in my life that have kind of helped me through some tough times in my life. They've been there for me, and hopefully I've been there for them as well. They do say that they treat me like family now. Actually just went to Melbourne to catch up with a friend who literally sent that message, which was really nice to read and send back. I feel like that one little piece of advice, so to speak, that enlightenment, helped me try to be a better man.
Yeah, cool. I'm happy to hear that. Okay, so I want to share a story from a friend that I've met recently, and she is a life model for artists, and we were talking about this topic, and she was modeling, posing nude in a room full of mostly male artists, and there was one man. I mean, she takes her work very seriously and puts a lot of effort into the poses, and some are dynamic, some are relaxed poses, and I think sometimes they're short 5-minute poses, sometimes they're an hour long, and I think she finished the pose and she said, something like, maybe I could have done this other pose, or what pose would you like to see? And one of the guys in the room said, you could do any pose and you look great from any angle. But I guess the tone of that comment, and I should probably say, if I say it a little bit differently, you look great from any angle. Do you know what I mean?
I feel it.
And it
it's almost sexual in a way.
Very sexual, especially when somebody's you know, a person in the middle of the room is
Yeah.
quite vulnerable.
Completely vulnerable.
Completely vulnerable in a room full of men, and she said it kind of set off a bit of snickering and you know, of the other guys in the room, and it's almost like a caveman-esque sort of grunty vibe. It's a kind of really creepy. Is it creepy? It's
Primal.
It's primal. Yeah, thanks. That's a good word. Primal instincts to. He didn't need to say that. Basically, he could have thought it. He thought he was giving a compliment. Probably. Sounds to me like, you know, he's quite a mature guy, but that he could have kept that in his head and maybe said later when she's got all of her clothes on. Thanks for the poses today. By the way, doesn't matter what pose you would have done, it would have looked great anyway, and made her feel good about herself, not just as what she looks like. So yeah, that kind of made me think about this topic and a little bit more, and just the need to share with guys out there, just to be mindful that, you know, of how you talk to women. I mean, don't be afraid to give compliments by any mean, but I mean, I was saying to somebody as well that maybe I'm just a shit person. I don't give many compliments at all, but I see, you know, if somebody's obviously made the effort to, oh, it's a special occasion or something. I don't know why. It's probably a bit old school of me, or just I'm not used to giving compliments because maybe I haven't received a lot of compliments. Maybe that's where you go one way and I go the other.
Went the other way.
Yeah, so yeah, when I give compliments, I genuinely mean them. I don't just sort of hand them out. But I'm also mindful of not, you know, making people feel like they're just objects. Yeah. But yeah, I also make a real effort to sort of get to know somebody first before.
Yeah, that's definitely you. Yeah, I was going to say something like that. You generally try to create a connection with someone and get to know that person outside of the physical, how they think, who they are.
Yeah, and I think you're going to develop deeper connections that way as well. Don't get me wrong, like, I'm sure there are a lot of women out there that love getting praised on how good they look each day and they pride themselves on their beauty. But a lot don't, you know, so I guess it's good to keep that in mind when you're talking to the women in your life.
Yeah. Well said, Mark.
Well, I think we've shared what we wanted to share.
Yeah, it's good little start to our podcast journey.
Yeah, so sorry about the road noise in this episode. We're still fine-tuning our podcast environment, but hopefully you like today's content, and we're going to try and get an episode up every week, and
maybe two.
We'll see. Cool, thanks, man. I hope I didn't drill you too much. Have you got anything more to say? You want to add anything to today's podcast?
I think we covered most of it. Yeah, I think you've been very eloquent in the way you've spoken, and I think maybe just be a little bit more sensitive and a little bit more aware.
Yeah.
Of the way you're speaking to women and about women.
Yeah.
Even if it's in a situation where it is just the boys. Yeah. Sometimes it's good to treat them with a little bit of respect, maybe.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I guess those habits that you form while speaking with the boys, you know, they become who you are, and they're going to transcend into the rest of your life. If you're sort of, you know, can maybe stand up for what you think is right in those situations. You know, I think you're on the right track to living your best life and being a real man.
Well said, Mark.
All right, Dale. Much love and respect to you, and much love and respect to all of our listeners.
Over and out.
Signing off.